And we're going to close now the training and also the session. And I would like to call Andrea, Dania, and Pete for the closing remarks. We will start with you, Andrea, then Dania, and then Pete.
Okay, thank you, Chantal. Well, I'd like to be very, very brief. Just a short reflection on my perception of these 3 days. Let me say that it was a pleasure to offer this learning opportunity to all of us. I learned a lot, and I hope the same for you. We had a good number of information, I guess. Maybe too much for the time available, I'm wondering. For sure, it will take some time to settle down and reflect on what we've seen. To me, the storytelling was sometimes difficult, but at the end, it seems to me that the connection among topics, case studies, discussion was not too bad. And I liked a lot the very informal and relaxed atmosphere that brought to a discussion and a good interaction to me. And this is thanks to the great work and facilitation from Chantal and Martina, actually. Among the several important take-home messages that emerged from the presentations and the discussion, I want to briefly pick 2 messages. The first one concerns the raising awareness on how important is or can be maritime spatial planning when properly developed and implemented. Integrating sectors, communities, we learned a lot. We heard a lot today on science and business interactions, and connecting and integrating policies towards a sustainable blue economy. To operationalize EBM in the Med and elsewhere. This is quite obvious for people who work directly on MSP like myself, but this is not the case for the larger community. And it seems to me that is growing more and more as a shared and common perception. The second message regards honesty, trust, equity, which resulted, and it is actually so closely related to sustainability, to science, policy, society, processes. I'd like to close thanking again all, but particularly I'd like to thank Peter, who actually is the one who started the whole process. Thank you very much to all. And of course, see you in Venice soon.
Thanks a lot, Andrea. Dania.
Yes, thank you for that. And yeah, from my side, I mean, it was really a very interesting opportunity. It was challenging to try to set it as we wished to if we were all together in Venice. But I think there was very interesting material. I think there were very interesting discussions. I hope everybody learned. From my side, I really learned a lot. And I think that, yeah, to me, the take-home messages are really that we went into digging a little bit further into what are the needs and what are the challenges in setting these rules and the limits to the uses of the sea. No, so what are the driving forces? How can these, in some cases, and there are best practices to be in a way challenged or set to work a bit more in harmony with nature. I think the question of again of vulnerability is very important. Socio-ecological vulnerability towards societies, local livelihoods, towards certain genders, women, and also towards yeah, mainly the equity of who's winning finally and who's not winning. So I think that's a very important topic. We also had some very interesting reactions from that. I think it's very important to also take home message the point on the users finally, and how the engagement, no, so the real engagement we are still not there. There are local populations that are not engaged in processes that would affect them, and I think especially in the Mediterranean this is a very important challenge that needs to be faced. So these are like topics to, I think, in my thinking, to develop on for Venice, hopefully. And the good thing is that there are ways forward, there are good practices coming coming from elsewhere, but also in the Mediterranean, that could be built upon to improve the situation. So the important thing, I think, to try to manage that the future professionals would be more integrating nature in the heart of what they are doing. And that's it from my side. I would like to really thank everyone, the patients, the long hours that we spent together. I think it was very useful. I hope we tried also to engage a little bit more people together. So I would really hope that most of you will be in a way connecting to each other after this training. So that was a bit of a platform for everyone to engage a bit with the others. Thanking all the team. I think, everybody worked really hard to try to put this together. So very like welcoming all of that, also to see how we can improve things for the future. So I would be really happy if everybody takes a minute to build a bit of your understanding of the survey that we will be sending, to see how we can improve towards Venice as well. And I really look forward to hopefully see everyone and have these coffees that we missed together in Venice. So thank you from my side.
Thanks a lot, Dania. Now it will be time to understand if we thank or blame Peter for the whole thing. Peter, what do you want to share with us?
Thank you all. I would just actually just like to correct Dania when she said coffee. I think she meant red wine, but that's okay.
Or tea.
Tea. Okay, well, we'll see. We'll see about the tea. Okay, I would just like to thank everybody. You know, I can go down the list, but also there's been a lot of work done behind the scenes by Andrea, Dania, and the crews from the Mediterranean Biodiversity Protection Community. It's always one of the hardest acronyms to remember. Thank you, Chantal. Thank you, Martina. It wouldn't have been anywhere near as interactive and as much fun without you guys. Special thanks to Chris, who's obviously not here, and to JB. And even though Andrea said I was the one pushing this, actually it comes from an idea of JB and Chris, who came to Croatia a couple of years ago. So I'm just piggybacking on their work. I would just say the take home from me. I have 6 pages, so let me just carry on. I'm just kidding. I've only got 1 page. I would just say that when we start to engage with people in science policy, we need to understand that, you know, even if we're talking about policymakers, scientists, or the general public, they're people. So we can find a way to connect to them on a personal level, and in that way that we can change the value systems that underlie all of the legislation and the policy development. And I think that's one of our roles. I would also say that don't be afraid to embrace your subjectivity, so long as you're transparent about your subjectivity. I think that then many people will respond better to you when you say, yeah, listen, I do have an agenda, but my agenda is this, and let's find a way to work together to find, you know, a system to get through to what we both want to achieve, which is sustainability in the long run for most things. And finally, I would just say to Martina and the guys at MI, well done, keep going. NBPC, keep going. Andrea, keep going. We're nearly there, but next year, the end of this year, the beginning of next year, I'm looking forward to having a glass of red wine in that trattoria, Andrea, you know the one, in Venice with you guys. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Peter. And it's actually interesting maybe now to hear also a few of the trainees while
Before
we are
that, Chantal, I would also like to thank Alejandro Iglesias and the IOC and the MSP Global Initiative. He's also not with us today, but they made it really to get more participants on board, to make it more diverse. And we really thank them for that.
Thanks. Also, they will get a chance to hear that at some point. So again, as I was saying, are there any comments, or is there anyone who wants to say quickly some remarks about the training? there will be a questionnaire anyway, but it's always nice to hear, you know, it was an exchange. So it would be nice to keep this until the end. And don't be afraid to be critical. I think we all can hear.
Please be critical. It's definitely helping to improve the next webinar.
And blame it on Pete.
Of course, always.
Yeah, sorry if I can say something, and I won't be critical. I wanted to thank you all as well for giving us the opportunity to join the course, and for some of the C Unicorn participants to join with only the access with the chat, but still listen to all the very high level presentations that were made. And I really hope that this exercise will continue in Venice. Personally, I learned a lot about policy and management and everything, and I think it was very, very useful as a scientist to get all this information. So the training in the direction policy to scientists was very good. I don't know how the other ones felt, but for me it was a great experience, so thank you.
Thank you, Audrey. Anyone else wants to take the floor?
I would like also just to say a few words. I think it was very fruitful and rich, this. And I was wondering if it's already on the plan in Venice, perhaps, that we actually produce something about this meeting, like few pages on the main outcomes. It would be really useful for colleagues like me, but also other types of colleagues. So that was just a thought I had. It would be interesting to work on something like that.
Anyone wants to answer on that?
Yeah, I think we have some thoughts from our side on how to proceed. We would need to check them internally, I guess, but some discussions already also with Andrea on board was to produce some communication material, very straight to the point, out of the different very interesting interactions that we had, the voting that you made to several things. So I guess we need to give it a bit of a thought, but certainly we could develop a few things even before Venice, I think, or in preparation to Venice. And I guess my colleagues in the communication maybe want to say something, but I guess we will be also putting together all the documentation and a few key messages that came out of the discussion so far in one document. So we in a bit like engage everybody in one entry point, but maybe Lise and Sonsoles would like to say something more about that.
Or if I may connect to that one, I was just about to send the link to the MBPC official website. So where we'll upload, I also saw in the chat, somebody asked if we can upload the PowerPoint presentations. Of course, we will do that. We'll also make edited videos from the lectures that we heard in all these 3 days and upload them too. Also, just to let you know, we will have a questionnaire like post-event that we will be sending you at the beginning of the next week, and we will really like to hear your feedback on these 3 days. And as we said, it can be a positive, it can be a negative. It all helps us improve. And all the unanswered questions, I'm sure that there are some of those too. We'll compile them, and then in the next 2 weeks, we hope to get the answers from all the speakers and trainers, and then we will send them to you. And as Dania said, we'll make a short training report with the keynotes and key messages, and which will be also shared with you through the MBPC website. Thank you.
Thanks, Martina. So let's say it's the beginning of a long adventure. Anyway, until the end of the year, where I hope everybody will be able to join the Venice part. The place is quite attractive. So again, I mean, I think it was a really challenge, a big challenge, because turning a physical training into an online opportunity was quite an exercise also for me. And I really would like to warmly thank not only all the participants, but also all the speakers and people in the team, and Martina, with whom we really made a great team, I would say, for making it possible. I know it's not perfect, and I even don't pretend it could be perfect, but I think we've really managed to create an atmosphere, like Andrea was saying. As I said, I mean, things can continue. You know, you have this participants handbook. I already saw that some people are interested to be in touch with each other in the chat. I could see that today. So please, I mean, keep building this community, because together is the only way now for finding the way forward. And as the aim of the course was creating a community, and also getting out of the lab or the silo is absolutely needed in our reality today. So thanks again.